In today's reading, we're doing Dealer's Choice, or as I like to call it, Divine's Choice. And the Divine has chosen to talk about today romance. And on the bottom of the deck, we have Independence with Artemis. So Aphrodite and Artemis. This is the dance between union and autonomy, love and self-sovereignty. This is going to talk, I think, about love without losing yourself. I think that's the main message that's going to come through here. So we will start with the Psychic Tarot Oracle cards. And we're going to get some information on what specifically in romance versus autonomy we need to know. There's a balanced magnetism here between these two. You have desire but boundaries. You have union and freedom. Then you have the heart open but the eyes open. There's like pleasure and purpose between these two energies. So it feels like a bit of a paradox here of like, how do I fully love myself and not lose myself while loving another? What is our main message here? Rest and rejuvenate. Rejoice in celebration. Financial and material changes. Bottom of the deck, we have trapped in fear. Okay, so what I'm getting here first is this message is going to be about learning to anchor independence within a connection, to let rest and friendship and change rebuild your sense of worth and safety. The body and your heart right now are crying for peace and quiet. This is asking you to like step back from pursuit or proving. Your romance will deepen through your stillness and your self-care. And then we have the rejoice and celebration, and that's about joy and companionship returning when you stop striving. So love flows easily when you share like actual genuine warmth and not like a performance. And then with this 5 of materials, financial and material changes, this is usually stressors, right? This is feeling left out, feeling rejected, dealing with abandonment issues, dealing with poverty issues or scarcity. This could be literal financial issues if you're in a romantic relationship and you're kind of struggling to keep a balance between yourself and your partner. But the real shift here isn't loss. It's actually like a reprioritization. It feels like his fingers are on these different sections of this card, representing like his importance. The different fields or aspects in his life he needs to keep control on, keep a pulse on. And there's some reprioritization around that. So you're, I think, in the point of defining or redefining what security means in love and in life. There's definitely like old scarcity stories here playing out, emotional or financial. And they've kept you really cautious. They've kept you in this cage of feeling like, oh, I can't get out. And there's this feeling of like, I'm getting like rattling the cages, trying to bust free, but you're not quite figuring out how to unlock that door. And I think the freedom here is going to begin when you realize that the door was never locked. You didn't need to rattle the cages. You just needed to turn the knob. Let's see what this deals with. Four of Cups in reverse. Overcoming a state of apathy, perhaps a disconnection with romance, with love, or with passion. I think you maybe have been striving to be too independent to the point of like a severe, it feels like just disconnection from connecting or forming like some form of a union with others. And this doesn't have to be romantic. This could be, you know, love and friendship or family. You have all reversals so far. There is something that you'll need to go back to. You need to return to. And this is good for kind of restoring a sense of balance and harmony within and around your immediate environment. I mean, the Four of Wands to me a lot of times is like the home card. Happy home, happy marriage. High Priestess, Page of Swords, and then the Emperor reverse on the bottom. This feels like a secret to be said. Maybe you've been holding back. Let's get some clarifications going on these. There is some form of like a self-liberation here through your own awareness, because it feels like with everything in the reverse, there is something you just really don't want to see. You don't want to acknowledge. Maybe you don't want to express it. It could be your disappointment around certain things. It could be just self-protection that is keeping you at arm's length from connecting truly with another. The divine wants you to know that you're moving from anxious attachment to some form of embodied attachment here. Fool reverse, Temperance reverse, the Knight of Pentacles. Seven of Cups in reverse and the King of Swords. This is about seeing something very clearly and not being overwhelmed by certain emotions or options, perhaps. Maybe you're juggling different options. You're not really happy with any of the ways to go. None of these look like your divine new beginning that you're seeking here, or your exit strategy, your way out of this locked cage, although it's not locked. Passion ignited beneath that. And stand your ground. There's something that's trying to like reawaken within you right now. But the divine wants you to understand that it's a little out of balance, and it's going to take your diligence, your hard work, slow, steady steps, ones that are grounded in reality and very tangible. Here, there's like this coming back to earth, like a reality check to be had with the Seven of Cups in reverse and then the King of Swords. It's like he's delivering this truth to you, very clear cut and dry. This person looks like they are trying to think of how to emotionally like cut ties with something. But the problem is they're not seeing, and yet they're working towards it, but not seeing that there is something to return to first. There's something to be resolved before you can officially cut ties with a toxic way of thinking or seeing something or connecting with someone. What does this not mean? Knight of Swords in reverse. We have the Five of Swords in reverse and then the Four of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. And clarifying the Knight of Swords in reverse, we have 10 of Swords in reverse, Two of Pentacles reverse, and then the Star. This doesn't deal, I think, with like watching your words and being very like measured in what you have to say. There's something about this communication or this change in perspective that is here to heal an old wound, an old conflict, an inner conflict, I think, especially with how to hold on and preserve your independence and not lose yourself in the shadows of this relationship. Or maybe there's a fear of commitment, a fear of romance here, a fear of seeking a partner, a union. This isn't about you juggling or getting all squirrel minded on what to do. You're no longer like juggling what's the tangible best step forward, what's the most practical step forward. I think the decision has been made, but this isn't about you like just gunning forward now that the decision has been made. There's still a healing process to take place here before action can be had. What does this mean with the Three of Pentacles in reverse? King of Pentacles in reverse, and Justice. There's your own like need to control, and that may be where this shadow energy of independence is coming through in your romance and your love relationships. I'll try to stop saying romance because I don't feel like this is just romantic relationships. I feel like this is about, fun relationships with your friends and your family again, other people in your life that you would have an emotional connection to. But there is something within you about like not working together dynamically because this need to control things. And Justice is here to bring balance to that. Perhaps others around you have been controlling things as well. Three of Swords, the Emperor, and then the Empress in reverse. There's an imbalance of power here. And you embodying such a masculine energy without, acknowledging or honoring the Empress within you, the feminine energy. There's that need to control, right? And that's coming into fairness, but it comes through a form of vulnerability, like a heartbreaking realization internally, something that you haven't been really willing to be receptive to change, to transition to. I think the divine here is really stressing that this message deals with you awakening from this period of emotional stagnation. But there's got to be deliberate and grounded growth. It has to be that way. It can't be fantasy. It can't be illusion. There's no need here for like dramatic confrontation in this, actually. There's healing that's still working in the surface. And this isn't about suggesting that you fight or you flee. It's actually this message that it's time for you to pause and to recalibrate. And I'm hearing that because there's this reclaiming of that power dynamic with this Justice card. I'm glad this came up in the upright, because this is further like just telling me that integrity and fairness are going to be what are the access of this change. And you're experiencing this heartbreak because it arises from an imbalance between your masculine control and your feminine depletion. So there's like a restructuring of power dynamics here, and it doesn't involve suppressing emotion or ignoring what is coming to you in terms of your emotions and your feelings, like turning away from them, not wanting to deal with them, not wanting to take action or to express them. So what is your advice in this? Returning to something. Not walking away yet. You're not ready. Page of Pentacles, Emperor reverse. Two of Cups reverse. The Magician reverse on the bottom with the Page of Cups. This feels like a soul lesson. And learning that control does not equal love. Your advice is really to turn back and face what was avoided. But this time with like clearer eyes and steadier boundaries. There's a need here to revisit lessons instead of just abandoning them. Something still has value if you approach it as a student and not a savior. Power imbalance poisons harmony. Control does not equal love. So there's a need here to drop control games and over functioning, or the need to like define the outcome. The equality needs to rebuild slowly. And I think in this element here, with this advice, as you're doing this, you'll resolve a certain creative energy that's been blocked by your emotional immaturity or your self-doubt. The message here is like, you don't have to end or fix anything immediately, but you do need to pause. You do need to ground. And you need to study what partnership looks like when there's authority and trust and communication that's kind of rebuilt from scratch. Be willing to practice love as like almost like a craft, is what this Page of Pentacles is telling me here, rather than just an ideal. And what is this good for with the Four of Wands in reverse? This is rebalancing that harmony, I think, first and foremost. There's that Knight of Swords in reverse. Nine of Cups in reverse. And Death. I feel like you are in just this fight or flight mode. It's like you don't want to... That's quite a bit of reversals on the bottom. We have the Ace of Pentacles reversed, Seven of Cups reversed, Ace of Swords reversed, and then the Six of Swords reversed. So there's that going back again. But it's like being comfortable in the unknown with the Moon capping off the bottom of the deck. So here's that fight or flight mode again, reappearing with the Four of Wands. And I think that's what's causing this disharmony, is like this, I'm trapped. I need to get out. I need to flee. I need to kill. I need to go away. I need to fight. I can't stay still. And in that creates a lot of inner disharmony, a lot of dissatisfaction within. You're feeling like you're not getting what you want. You're feeling like your dreams, your ideals of love or romance or connection with others is not being fulfilled. And there's a transformation in this. That's what ends here. That's what goes through a full rebirth. I think you're learning that to put your eggs into baskets of illusions and just all these overwhelming emotions is really keeping you ungrounded, and it's preventing you from seeing the truth. That the conflict is within you. And that's when you can move into your intuition with the Moon. That's when like the unknown doesn't become so scary, and sitting where you are doesn't become so scary either. If you're in the Moon energy, you're not recommended to start just running through the woods in the dark and hoping you don't run into the boogie monster. Those shadows that go bumping in the night in the woods of the Moon, you would almost attract more attention. And this is good at remedying that. It's good at becoming comfortable with the unknown and the mystery and allowing things to unfold slowly. You are not to run. You are not to cling, but you are to re-enter this arena of love and romance differently, more grounded, more curious, and more real. Once you can drop the control, that's when like true connection can really come in. Control is just fear of loss. And I think that's what's preventing you from this true rejoice and celebration. It's like not open to you because there's this fear that if you can't control how this unfolds, it will unfold like to your detriment. It will leave you out in the cold. It will leave you abandoned. All right, let's clarify the bottom of the deck energy here. It feels like your intuition is suspicious. That's what I'm getting firsthand with these two. Or you are mistaking intuition for telling you to keep your guard up, to not trust, to not open, and to not learn. There's that Emperor in reverse again. This is that releasing of that control. Clarify what we're not seeing about this situation. What is hidden but needs to be known? We have the Lovers in reverse, the King of Cups in reverse, and the Four of Cups returning. Nine of Swords, Nine of Pentacles reverse. Four of Wands is beneath that. Okay. So what I'm getting now is there's like disconnection and emotional suppression, creating this element of withdrawal and apathy. The heart really wants connection, but your self-protection is what blocks the flow. There's fear of I'm going to lose myself if I give in to this, happy marriage, happy relationship, this harmony with others around me in like an intimate setting. It keeps you up at night. You have a lot of anxiety over your independence versus intimacy, like fear of being alone, yet resistance to dependence. And you may sense a split between what you feel versus what you admit here. And I think your intuition, it already knows the truth, yet your mind is searching for proof that the Emperor is out of control or is not showing up. And this tension between your inner knowing and your outer vigilance is like the real lesson in trust here. I do feel like there's this exhaustion showing up here with the Four of Cups coming back. Like you're reconnecting after a period of exhaustion and what this deals with. But what you know beneath the surface is that there's some emotional fatigue here with this King of Cups and Four of Cups. You're kind of tired of waiting for emotional reciprocity in some form. But I do also think that those nines are pointing to like near completion. So you're learning self-trust before the next chapter begins, before the milestone is reached. And your higher self is asking you to stop like gathering data and to like proof of what is it? It's not proof of concept. It's like proof bias or what is that word? It's confirmation bias. You're looking for confirmation bias on whether love is safe or not, whether letting go of control will be safe or leave you stranded and abandoned. Your higher self is asking you to start embodying the answer that you already know. And this being like so many reversals here shows me that like your mind chatter and your emotional defensiveness are delaying the healing that's like already available. Aphrodite is coming forward because she longs for connection, but she must release the over-analysis and the confirmation bias of needing to be completely independent, doing everything on your own. You're guarding your solitude, but you need to like soften your vigilance here. So trust your intuition more than like your fear of being wrong. And I have a feeling you may be mistaking your fear of being wrong for your intuition because of that confirmation bias. There's like I'm hearing like whispering in the back left side of my ear. So there's like this quiet intuition, I think, whispering the next right step to you, but there's like a fear of repeating old pain that keeps you second guessing it. Is this the next best step? And I think your way forward is actually rather simple. You need to like pause the surveillance and honor your intuition and let your emotional truth decide your next move, not your anxiety and not your fears of abandoning yourself or being, just completely dissolved in another person or in a relationship. Okay, let's get some Hecate Oracle cards. These are both new decks, so I was like really excited to use these, and they look like they're serving us well so far. But let's see what Goddess Hecate has to say. We got two. Oh, secret, and we'll honor that it is in reverse. We will keep that in mind. Nectaria of the night. And then we have, what is this? Datophoros, Torchbearer, Guidance. Bottom of the deck, we are looking at, oh gosh, I can't even say half these words. Apotropalos, Averter of Evil, Deflection. Being as this is a new deck, I will read from the book, but first I want to see if I'm getting any messages just from the imagery here. So with the word deflection, let's start there. Deflection is like really when you use like a defense mechanism to avoid difficult truths or topics or criticisms or like responsibility. And so instead of just having the conversations head on, you deflect by redirecting it to something else. So it's like running distraction, essentially, so that you don't have to say the truth, the secret that needs to come out. I feel like you are receiving guidance on this, but I also feel like the message here is that your truth coming out, the secret that you're holding within and deflecting from facing or from having that tough conversation, is going to offer guidance to the person that you communicate to. By untrapping yourself from this fear and by exposing the secret that you're holding within, you will actually be able to heal not just yourself, but the other person. What's underneath this? Severance, yeah. A need to get rid of and cut away this deflection, this avoidance. Speaking your fears, your anxieties of losing your independence in the sake of this harmony may be like this huge turning point for you in being able to reawaken something in your heart, opening the heart chakra. So instead of changing the subject in these tough conversations, I think it's time to really come forward with the truth, no matter how it lands. I do want to tell you, you'll be protected in this truth if you're like fearing consequences of some sort. There's like this energetic protection around you that's kind of supporting all of these different energies that are exploding around this person like fireworks. She's not getting hit by these fireworks at all. There's like this fearing fear itself energy. Okay, let's read the book a little bit to see if it has anything more to offer. Number 21. Secrets. Nectaria of the night. In shadows of night, Hecate wanders in silence, moving unseen. A stoic sentinel, through her silent vigil, we can seek truth and answers. I almost said awareness. Interesting. Seek truth and answers and awareness to the mysteries. Confidentiality and concealment may help us grow at this time. Beware of illusions and lies, for the goddess can also shed light on those. What is waiting to be found? What is being kept hidden from you? Hecate brings the truth to light in the dark of night. And I think that's what this is about, bringing the truth to light. And I see that here as well in the High Priestess and the Page of Swords. And maybe the truth is that the person that you need to talk to is not coming as the Emperor. Is coming as lazy or unorganized or too controlling or whatever. But I think this is also taking accountability for yourself, because you don't want to deflect that onto the other person when you may be just protecting your own self-esteem by avoiding the accountability for your own actions of coming lazy or too controlling, the opposites. The yin and yang of the Emperor in extremes. All right, and then guidance. Datophoros, torchbearer. When in darkness we lose sight of the path before us, Hecate can shed the light to illuminate our path. The Homeric hymn to Demeter says that Hecate came to Demeter on the 10th day after Persephone disappeared, holding a torch. And so she shines a light into our lives, guiding us through darkness and unknown. However, the light will only span so far. There must be some sense of mystery, and we must not be completely afraid of the dark or let the unknown hold us back. Yeah. I think you're going to get some kind of illumination from this truth-telling. And then deflection, averter of evil. Apotropeos. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. As guardian, warrior, and healing goddess, Hecate has the capability of deflecting negativity that can hinder or derail us from our path. Don't be fooled, however, into believing that this aspect of Hecate is a mollycoddler. For she will not keep from you those life lessons that are unavoidable or required for your development. Where do your negative influences originate from? Is your sense of feeling victimized justified? The goddess will shield you, but it won't keep you from experiencing the full range of life and emotion. She's saying you're not here to be protected from this. You can't deflect anymore. You can't avoid it. You can't change the subject. It's time to really face these pain points within yourself and this truth coming to light of I'm losing me in joining with you. All right, I'm going to get an Angels, Gods, and Goddesses Oracle to close this out officially, and we'll leave it there. Angel of Healing. The angel has felt your sadness and have shown up today to send you healing. Angel of Prayer. Ask the universe and the angels for help and guidance. I think Hecate is here to support this, and it might not be an easy transition, but you definitely have support from your angels, your guides, and the universe around you. You just need to ask for their help. Ask them to show you signs or to show you when to say or what to say. There's a lot of healing in this process. And so it feels like a very tough energy, a tough transformation. I mean, nobody said life was going to be easy. But ultimately, I feel like this brings you into a certain unification that allows you to honor your independence while honoring your unions with other people. In finding yourself, you are able to rejoice in that celebration again. You're able to feel rested and rejuvenated, and you're able to not fear this being abandoned or being, left out in the cold. Beautiful energy. Doesn't look easy, but it's ultimately for the best. I wish you the best of luck. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you.